The other day, I described a simple routine for systematic relaxation and meditation, but there was more to it than that. To begin with, practice makes perfect. The more often the exercise is performed, the greater the degree of relaxation that can be achieved. There comes a time when it is unnecessary to lie on a bed. It can be done in a chair, waiting for a bus, riding in a train. In fact, being as relaxed as circumstances allow can become second nature. Such a state of mind, if it is genuine rather than affected, is the ultimate in being laid back. The thoughts and feelings that are allowed to filter back into the mind while in a state of systematic relaxation are also important. It is a total abuse of the activity to simply indulge in feeling good, just as it is a dangerous abuse of drugs to wallow in well-being. With practice, when in this relaxed state, it is possible to let the mind wander beyond itself by trying to understand the thoughts and feelings of others, and beyond that to the wider world. Carl Gustav Jung, the Austrian psychologist, performed a similar psychological maneuver when he imagined he was a stone with him sitting on it. The mind dissociates from the body, enabling it to view the world with greater detachment and objectivity. It is this effect which is potentiated by cannabis. The course stressed the importance of having a goal at the back of the mind. It was crucial to have something achievable to work towards. It stressed the importance of analyzing one's fears, anxieties, and inhibitions to establish whether or not they had any foundation in fact, and whether or not they could be safely defied. Defying fears is the best way of overcoming them. When I worked on the distant early warning line, it was often necessary to fly with the weather below limits. The situation was totally beyond my control. There was nothing I could do but submit to fate. In consequence, I never once felt a frisson of fear, whether it was landing between hills shrouded in cloud, taking off with a gale blowing diagonally across the runway, or a temperature below -45. The course advised viewing other people sympathetically rather than critically, no matter how obnoxious they may at first appear. This was helpful in that doctors, like all servants, do not enjoy the privilege of liking or disliking those they serve. All personal prejudice must be set aside, and a broad mind adopted in a search for saving graces. I always made an effort to understand the point of view of others. In the consulting room, I found that if I could say or do something to make people feel more secure, their personalities changed miraculously for the better. The course advised on more general matters. It stressed the importance of appearance, and to think about how one dressed and cared for one's home or workplace. It was a serious mistake to say, "It is what I am that counts, not what I look like," as was encouraged in the 60s. To save energy, it advised that one trained oneself to do every routine task with a minimum of effort. It advised that the basic essentials of everyday living, such as shaving, getting dressed, washing dishes, and such like, were thought through carefully with a view to discovering how many movements and how much thought could be eliminated. While getting dressed, for example, every time one has to think where one placed a certain article of clothing, and every time one has to cross the room to get something that could have been at hand, is wasting energy and causing unnecessary hassle. Daily routines should be planned like military operations. One is then left completely free to exploit spontaneously all the more interesting and exciting thoughts and opportunities that come one's way. Contrary to 60s philosophy, efficient routines increase freedom rather than diminish it. One cultivates an impeccability of spirit. Finally, it is important to remember that you cannot respect a person you cannot use. While this may sound cynical, the quickest way to earn respect is to be helpful. even if it is only simply as a friend or a sympathetic spirit. Always ask yourself how you can make yourself useful to your friends, acquaintances, and the community. The less ostentatiously you do so, the better, since it avoids making people feel indebted. In the final analysis, it is important to reflect on both the outer and the inner worlds and relate them to each other.